Hello.
All right,
Asher?
there we go.
All right. Can you do the disclaimer? Because I do not know that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The program you're listening to may or may not contain language or material that could be considered offensive. The views expressed are those of the DJ and not necessarily those of WDOT or other WDOT station members. We therefore advise you to carefully consider whether you or your children should listen.
All right. This welcome back to Argumentative. We have a Virginia former it's confusing. College football linebacker Dorian Jones. My first I just very thankful that you could come on. Very grateful for you wanting to give us a shot. But a quick question that I have out the gate is you said on your Instagram story that you have 2 years of eligibility left. Did you?
No,
Or
no,
no?
that was me.
That wasn't you?
No, sis.
Did you are you entering the transfer portal or no?
Mm-mm. No,
Oh,
this is my last year. I just finished up my last year.
oh, oh, okay. I must have seen someone else then, because
Hmm.
I thought you had just entered the transfer portal and I was really confused.
Nah,
Okay.
I think that was me posting for one of my boys that's hopping in there. He's here right now, and he plays receiver. He's going out right now. Mhm.
Oh, so
He's
I
like a
was
spot. He's like a gadget guy.
because
Hmm.
I was mad confused because I was like, how is he played
No,
5 years of college football and now he's
no.
entering? And I was like, he may have just squeaked into like the COVID year stuff,
Hmm.
and but that clears a lot of things up. So Virginia linebacker. We'll
Yeah.
just yeah. All right. So we got some questions for you. I just need to find them. Well, first off, do you want to play a game to start? Because every week we play a game, but we want to know.
Sure.
You want to play a game?
Sure. Let's do it.
All
What's the
right.
game?
So we had a game set up, but it didn't end up like we ended up doing it with the other guy. But
Hmm.
this one is just, do you think these NFL teams are actual contenders?
Okay.
Because there are many teams in the NFL who are have a good record, but once they enter the playoffs, they're not going to do anything. Kind of like
Hmm.
my favorite team, Seattle Seahawks. We're not going to do anything
Hmm.
in the playoffs. I'm gonna be honest.
Hmm.
But
I ain't gonna
so
lie, I'm gonna play the game. I ain't really been watching the NFL this year, but I'm
you
gonna give
haven't.
it a shot.
All right. So
Nah,
Buffalo Bills, just right out the gate.
out the gate. Yes, I think the Bills have a decent shot. Like I know a few guys that's on the team out there, and they've always been right there, like right there about to go to the Super Bowl. I think they're honest contenders. I think they are.
Yeah, and I think they might have a good chance of actually making it this year
Hmm.
because Patrick Mahomes is having his it's crazy because they're still like the number one team,
Yeah.
but he's having his worst season of his career and they're
Hmm.
still 12-1. But I think if the Bills defense was to force him to make even more mistakes than he's already been making this year, then they have a genuine shot of
100%.
making the Super Bowl. And they already beat them once this year. So I
On their
think
home.
it's a genuine chance. The Pittsburgh Steelers,
What is the Steelers record right now?
10-3.
10-3. And who's their quarterback?
Russell Wilson.
Russell. Yeah, they're contenders. But Russell Wilson at quarterback, I think he always got a shot, 100%.
Yeah, I think Broncos really gave Russell Wilson a bad rap just
Hmm.
Mhm.
because they sucked with him and he sucked on the Broncos.
I used to be a big Seahawks fan when he was there, him and Marshawn in the backfield, and I think he can get it done. Like I definitely think he
Yeah.
can.
See,
Yeah,
the thing that I have with the Steelers is like I feel that their schedule has been too easy this year, besides like their in division games.
Hmm.
So I feel like when it gets to the playoffs, if they play a tougher team, I feel like they won't.
Hmm.
yeah, I see that, but I think if they play a team such as the Chargers, the Broncos, both teams that could sneak into the playoffs,
Hmm.
Mhm.
Not even sneak in. They're 8-5 right now. They're pretty much in it.
Hmm.
Uh, and in that same bracket, I think they could at least win one game. I don't think winning one game really puts you as a contender because teams win one game and then it's like, how did they win that game? And they get smacked in the next round. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we saw that coming. I think to be a contender, you have to at least play in the conference championship.
Hmm.
So it doesn't really make, like, I don't think they're a contender, but I think they are a really good team who can make a run if it's just a very hard AFC for them, which it sounds weird, but like Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Chargers are a good team even. Those
Yeah.
are all pretty hard teams to win and
Yeah.
like beat.
One thing I think though, like no matter like, bro, one thing I've really realized throughout football in general is that honestly, any team can beat anybody on any day.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
record, any team, any starting quarterback, like, and that's why, like, with Russell back there, and you got Najee still over there, ain't it?
Yeah, he is.
Najee Harris over there. He's
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
experienced back. He's a good back. Like they got the offense to do it, bro.
Yeah,
I
and
think
I think their defense is also really good. So
100%.
that should, and that's like a consistent thing is that their defense is
Yeah.
actually at that level. And sometimes their offense isn't up to that same caliber. And
Mm-hmm.
with Kenny Pickett, you see all the Mike Tomlin discourse with, oh, yeah, he hasn't had a losing record. He's always had a winning record or been 500, but it's like 9-8, 8-8, 10-7, not an actual like upper echelon team
Mm-hmm.
and not actually at that elite level. And I think that was partially because they were in a bad situation with Kenny Pickett, and now they kind of hit a quick rebuild where they were around 500 and now they're going to probably finish like 750.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big difference.
It
But
is.
yeah. So Chiefs, I think that's obvious.
Yeah. The Chiefs, they make it pretty much every year now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
We need to break up the dynasty.
Hey, who knows? We might see somebody do it this year.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I think Bills definitely have a shot. If
Definitely.
like Bills definitely have a shot, I think Steelers have a decent shot with
Mm.
how close the Chiefs games have been. It's not they haven't had a
Yeah. Because pretty much
convincing
all their
win.
games come down to one play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think as a Seahawks fan, I've seen that with the Jets game. I was at that game. Uh and the entire first half it was 21-6.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Jets obviously they're the Jets, so they completely collapsed and we ended up winning, but that's still like you still looked bad in that game and we had like fumbled the ball 3 times on kickoffs. It was a scary showing. And the only real reason that we won, I think, is because that Leonard Williams pick six just completely killed the Jets.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so then we have the Texans.
The Texans, like, I feel like have slowed up since last season. So like we're seeing them like starting to slow up in mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
Like as much as I would love to see them have a genuine shot, I just don't think that this year is specifically their year.
Yeah.
But in the future, I do see them being a very good contender.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
agree. From what I have seen, the Texans do like they have like I wouldn't say contender. I wouldn't say that they're a contender, but they have been doing well. I've been watching that one edge from what's his name?
Uh Will Anderson,
I think so. Where did he come from?
Bama,
Yep.
Roll Tide.
Yep. I've been watching him. He's been doing pretty decent. And as he gets more seasoned, I think he'll be really good. And he'll
Yeah,
lead that defense and lead them some big wins.
I think you don't necessarily need to be a contender right now.
Mm-mm,
It's kind of the same thing with the Thunder in the NBA, is that
mm-mm,
they were a good core for a little bit. They had, like, for 1 year, they had Chet Holmgren, Shea, Jalen Williams, and that's your core that you can build around over the future. They're all young. They're in that 24, 25 to 21 age, like to that in that range. And if you can get those talented players, you don't need to win this year
mm-mm.
because you have, if you can sign all these guys, you have another 6 years in the
Yeah,
future.
I'm about to say that, and that's really what it is. Like you get that chemistry and that experience in those high stakes games. It's valuable, you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I'm saying, like, even with Russell over there with the Steelers, like Russell has so much experience in these types of games, like, and he's won these games. It's not like he's just been there and he's lost, you know what I mean? He's been there and he's won these games.
Yeah,
He's been in the spotlight where he's won it. He knows how to do it, and he has people around him that can do it.
yeah. Uh, as long as Mike Tomlin knows how to run the ball on the goal line, I think they can actually
Yeah.
uh
Literally.
make a
That's it.
wave.
As long as we can do that, like we're good.
Yeah.
Mm,
So I think the Chargers, I don't see them.
no,
They're not a contender. I
no.
think
They're definitely an underdog in this playoffs, but I see them as not a contender.
Hmm.
I could see them sneaking into winning one game and then a close to mid loss against a better team. It's not
Mm,
it's a good year. It's a good year if you're able to go into the playoffs, beat a team, and then lose to a team or play competitive against a team that's better than you. If they play against the Steelers are better than them. There's
Yeah.
no like, oh, it's the Seahawks playing the Jets, Seahawks playing the Giants from earlier in this year, where I do think the Giants are a much worse team than the Seahawks. It's when you play sloppy and when you're having a bad game as a team, that's when it feels like an unsuccessful day. But when I mean, like when you're playing the best game of football that you can, but the talent level is
mhm,
just not at that same level, is it really a loss? It's obviously a loss. You're obviously going to come home disappointed, but you didn't go into the game as heavy favorites or favorites at all. So you can't
mhm.
like it's not like an unsuccessful season. It's not a
Right.
failure.
It's not.
And to wrap up the AFC, we got the Baltimore Ravens, and then I think we'll do like three teams in the NFC.
Ravens, listen, I'm a Florida guy. I'm here for it. I'm gonna call them a contender every time. You got LJ, and if LJ's in the backfield, you always got a shot to do something. And then
Uh,
with what's his name? Derrick Henry. Oh yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Come on. Come
That's
on. Come
yeah.
on.
If the entire team plays up to the level that Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson will be playing at,
Hmm.
I think this is a scary team. But
Yes, 100%.
the question marks are just in, I guess, the rest of the team. They're
Hmm.
eight
Mhm,
and five. They're 8-5, so
Yeah.
they're not. They're a good team. Most teams in the NFL would want to be 8-5.
Yeah.
Obviously, Steelers, like
Mhm.
Chiefs, Bills, they're not going to be want to be 8-5. That's a downgrade. But
Yeah.
yeah,
all these like Vegas, like Cleveland, New England, they
Hmm.
all want to be at that level,
Yeah.
but they're not. So I
mhm,
think they do have a shot if
Hmm.
they can just play as a team. But
100%.
it's a question mark, I guess.
yeah.
Then
Yeah. I
the
agree with that.
Eagles. Eagles.
Eagles.
Eagles.
I think I think they do have a shot.
Yeah, I
They-
think a bit of a one-trick pony. Not really though.
Yeah.
Like you can't necessarily win a Super Bowl by just handing it off to Saquon. even though
Appreciate
I would love that because Penn State fan.
it.
But
Yeah. And if any years is the year to do it, I think this would be the year to do it.
yeah, and I think they have a shot though. But the question is, can they get past that Detroit team, who I think is,
That's what I was gonna say. Detroit has been rolling.
Yeah.
yeah, Detroit's probably the best team in the NFC, if not the NFL right now.
Yes.
So I think they're probably going to be the team out of the NFC in this season.
Mhm.
And then
That's a,
the final team, because there's other teams like Seattle, Tampa Bay, Green Bay. They're not actually going to win the championship, as I hate to say. But
mhm.
uh, Minnesota,
Mm,
Minnesota. I don't see them as contenders.
I don't see them as contenders, but because the word contender to me means like if you place them in the Super Bowl against another Super Bowl caliber team, they have a chance of winning. And I don't think
Uh,
they would, but I do think
you
that
don't think who do you think they're not beating?
I don't think they're beating the Lions, and I don't think they're beating the Eagles.
I agree with that.
yeah, it seems.
And I mean, they have a chance to make that conference championship, but can
Uh,
they elevate from that to even the Super Bowl? And I don't think they can.
I think so either. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but
Yeah. I
hmm,
mean, nothing's impossible, but
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, they can definitely make a run, but
yeah.
I don't think it's likely. I think it's not impossible, but it's not likely.
Mhm.
I don't think that's very likely.
So, get into the actual questions for you. My first question is, you've transferred a lot in your career
Hmm.
as and you had committed to UTEP in this transfer period, right?
Hmm.
And then USF before that on the same day. Apparently, I haven't. Uh,
No,
what?
I never committed to USF. It was just UTEP and then UVA.
That's then 24/7 is wrong then, because on here it says committed to USF, which I mean it doesn't like
No, that's wild. I never even got an offer from USF in the portal. I had an offer
really.
from coming out of high school, but not in the portal.
That's actually
Mm.
funny. They're just feeding us false information.
Yeah, that's
That's
weird. I never talked to anybody from over there.
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I always go to 24/7. It's like the thing to track like recruitment, but I
Yeah.
don't know. They might not have the.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't talked to nobody from over there from
Eh.
USF. Mm-mm.
So, what made you choose Virginia over UTEP?
I mean, honestly, I've always been used to the ACC. Like I went and I played in another conference last season. You know, being with Cincinnati, it was
Yeah,
our first season in the Big 12. Like, and that was cool. But I like playing in the ACC. I'm comfortable in the ACC. You know, I played 4 years in there prior at Louisville.
yeah.
So it just felt like home. You know.
I mean, I don't know. UTEP in my college football dynasty, we've made.
Nah,
Uh,
they're a great program, man. Like when that's why I originally did commit because you know the coaches out there, the staff out there, they're great. Like they know ball, they know what they're talking about.
that
Like,
stadium is beautiful. Stadium is
and
beautiful.
it's gorgeous. Listen,
Yeah.
they showed me the best things in El Paso. El Paso, Texas is beautiful, and the
Yeah,
weather is great. Like the stadium, literally, like the way it sits up and like the way like that the mountains are, man, it's
yeah.
crazy. I'm
And
not going.
it's a big stadium too. It doesn't
It
look
is.
like like it's strange how a bowl stadium could not fully close, yet it
Mhm.
still holds like 55,000 people.
Yeah,
It's
it's
Yeah.
I
it is.
it's beautiful. Do you get some do you like go down did you go down there?
Yeah, definitely. I went on a visit. That's what I'm saying. Like they took me all around, El Paso, man. And, like it was gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
You eat some good like Mexican food there.
I didn't honestly. I think what did we? I feel like I feel like we low key ate a lot of American food. But I definitely had a few places and like when I was, considering going there heavily, like I was looking at places around, like they had some good Mexican eats around there.
Yeah.
They definitely
So you what was the main like motivation of you transferring?
transferring which time, my first time or my second time?
We'll go with your first time and then maybe we can work to the second time.
I mean, the first time it was mainly the coaching change. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I didn't like the coaching staff that was coming into Louisville, but I was really comfortable with the coaching staff that had left. And like them going over there, one thing led to another. Like I know the defense, and I knew the coaches that were over there, and that's just kind of how it went.
Yeah. And I mean, Louisville's in Kentucky, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That always confuses me because you would think a place called Louisville would be in Louisiana. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I don't know why I think that, but
Nah.
it always confuses me that it's in
I
Kentucky.
see where you're coming from. Yeah, and even when I went there, they always corrected me instead of it being like I used to say Louisville a lot, but the way you pronounce it is Louisville.
Yeah, I know that it's Louisville, but I still say Louisville because I
Yeah, I
feel
know.
like
It took me so long. Like I went there for 3.5, 4 years. Like
Yeah.
it took me about 2 years to get it down.
Well, that's also the New York like accent coming into that.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we grew up obviously we play baseball, so
Yeah.
Mhm.
Louis like I've always said at least Louisville Slugger. Even
Yeah.
and I feel like most people in baseball don't call it Louisville Slugger. They call it Louisville Slugger.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And
100%.
what was really the motivation for you transferring? Oh, wait, first, can we talk about how the Cardinal and the Louisville logo has teeth?
What about what about it?
Oh yeah, I've
That's
noticed
They
that. I
have
don't
teeth
get it.
on.
it's so strange. I don't
It
know
does
why.
have teeth.
Yeah,
Mascots are weird. You know what I mean? Mascots are mascots. I
yeah.
mean, yeah, I guess that is a bit weird that it has teeth.
I
Uh-huh.
I
mean,
never really noticed that.
I like it. It looks intimidating, and
And that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's just what it is. Just an intimidation thing.
it looks like intimidating but cartoony at the same time, and I like the vibes of that. But
100%.
it's also like teeth.
Yeah.
But what led you to transfer the second time?
Second time, I think I was just looking for something a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like I wanted a different opportunity. I ended up coming over here to UVA, and I love Coach E and everything that he's doing. Like, I didn't really have any issues with my coaches over there. Like, nothing but love and respect for all of them. Same thing with the players. Just different opportunities, man. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, coming here to Virginia, like I was really motivated by Coach E and his message. Like, Coach Elliott's big on serving his players, and he's a real players coach, like he cares about his players more than any coach I've been around. Like,
yeah.
Mhm.
and that's
I'm
me.
it makes sense. I feel like playing under a system or just being in an area, even though is Cincinnati like actually in Cincinnati or is it like a suburb
100%.
campus?
It's in Cincinnati.
It's in a city.
Yep.
Did you enjoy that or did you feel like
Well, I'm not gonna lie, Cincinnati, the city, is amazing. Like the city itself is amazing. The only thing I didn't like is the cold and the snow. Like
yeah,
I'm from South Florida where it's sunny, like yeah, we get rain, you know what I mean? But that's it, sunshine or rain. Like we don't
yeah,
get a winter for real. So
Mhm.
like and in Cincinnati and 3 months out the year, maybe low-key like 4 months out the year, it's probably about 30 degrees, 20 degrees,
Yeah.
10 degrees.
yeah,
Like you got snowstorms coming through. Like
it's a little bit of a different environment from South
It's a
Florida.
big difference, man.
Mm.
Yeah.
Big difference.
I feel like living in New York, we kind of have a medium of that where it's like
Mhm.
in
It's
winters it gets,
very warm in the summer,
but it's like
and then it's
30s.
very cold in the winter.
It's like high 20s, 30s, 40s in the
Yeah.
winter, but it's usually around high 20s to 30s.
Mhm.
But we don't get any snow
Mm.
because we live in like the around New York City, not like in New York City. We live in the area. And
Yeah, and
it's
then if we do get snow, like which is a rare occurrence, it's like 2, 3 inches.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's not a snow day. Not a snow day.
Okay. Nah, that's one thing I definitely realized. Like in Cincinnati, like yeah, that's kind of how it was in Louisville. You know what I mean? Like we'd get snow every now and then, like not too crazy. And then I remember there was one year we had a really bad storm and
Yeah,
there was snow everywhere. But Cincinnati, I want to say that in Cincinnati, I've seen twice as much snow in the 1 year or year and a half that I was there compared to the 3.5 years I was in Louisville. Like,
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's crazy. I've
so it's,
never been to Ohio or like the Midwest area.
mm,
I usually just go
Uh,
up
yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah, it gets cold out there. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
hadn't seen any degree under 10 until I went to Cincinnati.
yeah.
And that
I
was
mean,
crazy.
I feel like the coldest places I've been is Utah. Been there for like like trip, and
Hmm.
then my family lives upstate.
Hmm.
So during winter upstate, it gets really cold because it's Buffalo at least. We weren't in Buffalo, but
hmm
it's more north than Buffalo actually. But
Hmm.
Buffalo is like right next to Ohio, I think, right?
Yeah, I think is it? I
I
feel
think
like
so.
Buffalo is like across like a river.
Yeah,
okay.
but it's same thing.
I'm not too
I,
good at my geography. Hold on.
yeah, it's across a river from Ohio, I think.
Mhm.
Where is actual map of it? Whatever. Yeah. So I think what team were you a fan of when you were growing up? Like
I was
college or
a big
NFL?
Miami fan, 100%.
Huh?
I was a big Canes fan.
Mm.
Hurricane Miami?
Yeah, my dad
Yeah,
played
Miami.
for the Canes. My dad played at Miami, and my mom she ran track at Miami. So
Oh,
my
so you
whole
guys got like an athletic family?
oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Hmm.
So did you guys face a lot of like hurricanes and stuff?
Excuse me. Say that again.
Did you guys like get hurricanes a lot in Florida?
Oh, in Florida, here's the thing. Like most Floridians know that like when the season comes, like you'll get a few that come around in a season, but and like a lot of times they'll be like, oh, get ready. There's this category 3 hurricane out and it's coming through and you know what I mean, like get a generator, pack up food, all of this stuff, stay inside or maybe even evacuate.
Yeah.
And then the closer that the storm gets, the weaker it gets.
Yeah.
Or like the storm will come and then it'll completely swerve out the way. So it's like it's a lot of times they're like, I don't know. And they oh it's gonna come and it never does. But every few years, one of like this past season, there was like three of them that came through back.
Yeah.
Like you
Mm.
have a year like that, like so it's definitely a bit weird, but I definitely have experienced a few of them before.
I mean, we had one when we were babies in New
Mhm.
York. It was Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah.
That one got up here, but we
Yeah.
were like
That was
one.
bad. No, we were like 4. I kind of remember it.
We were not
Sandy was
four,
good.
little bro.
What year was that?
I'll look it up.
I don't
Or
remember, but I pretty sure I remember. I went to like my grandma's house when it happened because my house had
it
no
was
power for like 3
it
weeks.
was in October 2012, so we were two.
Uh,
12. Oh wow. Yeah,
how do I remember that?
I think I was like 11. Yeah, I was 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Hold on, 11. That's what, sixth grade.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I remember that one. That one kind of flooded my. That one didn't hit us too bad. We kind of got flash floods and stuff. Our neighborhoods were pretty flooded, and we had people out in the neighborhood in kayaks and fish swimming through people's yards and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Bro,
I
bro.
keep seeing stuff like that where it's like there's hurricanes in like Florida
Yeah,
or
bro.
something, and people just like fish on their front porch or
I've been
something.
I've been one of those guys. I
Can
promise.
we pause for a second and say how you just went, yeah, it didn't hit us that bad. There were fish swimming through our neighborhoods.
I mean, because it
You
because it,
bitch.
it didn't hit us that bad though. Getting hit bad is like, houses getting messed up
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
torn
stuff
up.
like
Yeah.
that. Nah, it was just a little bit of flooding. Like it was just rain, a little bit of flooding. Like I got a lake in my neighborhood. The lake did come up a few feet. You know what I mean? Like we got like a mini little island that sits in like the middle of the lake in the neighborhood. And like that got covered probably about a foot in some areas, like a foot and a half in other areas. And like there were
Yeah.
just fish swimming everywhere. Like there was like parts where like the lake was connecting to people's yards. So yeah, like fish was just swimming all through the neighborhood, man, in the streets,
I mean,
people boats.
I remember seventh grade, my science teacher showed us a video of I think you were in my class then, Asher, right? Core extension.
Probably, yeah.
Uh, my science teacher showed us like we were learning about hurricanes and stuff when we were tracking them as
Hmm.
they would go
Yeah, I
up.
remember this.
Yeah. And he showed us a video of a shark swimming on a street. Learned it was fake, but does that kind of like was it kind of like that where you would just see like a fish?
Oh, listen, in my neighborhood, do you guys fish at all?
Yeah, I mean when I go upstate I fish a lot, but
You ever heard of a gar?
yeah, like normal
Yeah.
gar or alligator
Yeah,
gar?
not alligator gar. They don't
No,
have the alligator gar in Florida for real.
uh,
But yeah,
they have
like
they
they
have
got they
normal
got like Florida
alligators.
gar. Yeah, they got like Florida gar and other little gar like that, bro. But
Yeah,
Mhm.
like
with the
I was, yeah, because around that time I would be out and like I was fishing and I was jumping in the lake and stuff. Like I was in middle school and
yeah.
literally I remember seeing gar come by my feet and like try to bite toes,
Yo,
like no games. Like people are running from them and like they're
I
swimming
mean
around.
I that the gar kind of sounds like Asher right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Come on,
yeah.
Asher, admit it.
I'm not admitting that.
Oh,
Gar, are they the ones with like the weird teeth?
They're
yeah,
like the ones with
yeah,
like the jaw, because I've caught a
yeah,
gar down in
yeah, bro.
Florida
Their
before.
teeth, their mouth is like skinny, but they have
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they got
crazy sharp
huge,
teeth.
like yeah.
Yeah,
They're like
My
alligator fish.
yeah,
well,
those.
no, that yeah, but my friend, he lives like next to me, I guess. But he went down to Florida for a vacation. He caught
Hmm.
an octopus.
Really?
Yeah, because he was like going looking at shells and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Because he like I don't know and looking for stuff like salamanders inside, like they were like burying inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
And he picked one up, looked inside, thought it was a salamander or whatever,
Those
Mhm.
octopus.
and it was an octopus. And
Yo,
so
I love doing stuff like that in Florida. Like that's one of the reasons why I love Florida so much. There's so much nature out there. Like there's so much on the water out there. Like you got the Everglades, like you got
Mhm.
keys, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
all of that. It's nice out there, man. Can't beat it.
I mean, my family used to go down to Florida, but then the area that we got that we were going to got crushed by hurricanes,
No way.
and then like the the next year, that was when we like got into skiing and stuff.
Mm,
Because then like we got old enough to where my
yeah.
mom grew up upstate, so she like
Mhm.
skied on like the local ski hills and stuff.
Yeah.
She used to be a ski instructor, so that like was something we started doing. But I miss Florida. I like it.
Yeah, man. Florida's great. Like I listen, I can't wait to go home.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, in what way, like, what is the culture in Virginia like? Is it kind of southern, or is it just like, is it like in a weird area where it's like half?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, here's what I will say. It's definitely Southern, but it's different for me here in Charlottesville because
Mhm.
this is more of a college town.
Yeah,
But around other parts of Virginia, this is definitely Southern.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, the meeting is like the scheduled meeting is ending in like 50 seconds. But
Hmm.
should we continue this for another, like, should we continue the conversation for another 10 minutes? Like starting a new meeting or,
Sure, we can. I ain't got nothing else to do.
because I feel like
All right.
we've talked a lot about like just life, which I like. I like talking about like
Yeah.
people's, and it doesn't feel like as much of a, oh, I'm here because S name. Like the password for it was argument because the podcast name is argumentative.
Okay.
So, all right, he's joining.
Or
All right. So
All right.
we are back after like starting a new meeting and stuff. And I just have two questions for you before we kind of wrap this up if Ashley doesn't have any more questions.
okay.
Uh, one question is, what do you like to do when you're not playing football?
Well, great questions.
Like I told you earlier, I'm a Florida boy, so I fish all day, man. When I'm back at home, I'm fishing saltwater, freshwater. Like I was just talking about the guard earlier, like I'm fishing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
What do you usually try to catch?
It depends where I'm at, what I'm doing. If I'm fishing freshwater, I'm usually trying to catch largemouth. If I'm fishing saltwater, it really just depends what's biting. Sometimes I'll be after snook, sheephead, sometimes anything that bites.
Wait,
Sometimes I'll get sharks.
are sheephead the ones with the freaky human teeth?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah,
was,
he is crazy, bro.
yeah, I was
But
down at
a
my,
lot of there's a lot of reef fish that have teeth like that.
yeah, I was down at my, like my grandma, actually, she's a grandma from the north. So she, for
Hmm.
like the spring, she goes, she's a retired person from the north. So for the
Hmm.
spring, like for a month, she goes down to Florida.
Yeah.
Uh, and we were visiting her over like Easter, like weekend break thing.
Hmm.
And so we, walked around some like reef, some like, what's the thing? The ones with the trees in the water.
Evergreen.
Uh,
Mangroves.
mangroves. Yeah. And so we were walking around one of those things and we saw some manatees and we saw
What part
like
of Florida y'all was in?
New Smyrna Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, so and then we went to and the next day we went on like some kayaks and stuff and we saw a shark, so that was pretty cool. And
Yeah,
then we
bro.
also saw one of the freaky like human teeth ones.
Yeah, the sheephead. I caught a shark one time. I caught a few sharks. It's me and some of my buddies. We go shark fishing. Sometimes I take my little brother with me. Last time we went, we caught like three of them. We caught like I
Damn.
caught about a 6 foot. My boy Ty he caught another one about that same size, and then um my little brother I think he had caught one like 3 feet.
Yeah.
But
Is 6 foot like a big shark?
I mean I think I would say so.
I mean, that's like your height, right?
Yeah, no, I'd say it's a big shark.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, and my other question is, do you have a like this is a classic question I think that people ask like linebackers or just like football defensive players a lot
Hmm.
is can you remember every quarterback that like you sacked or because you have what do you have two career picks or one career pick?
Yeah, I think it's only one.
And then you have 4 or 5 sacks or
Hmm.
so can you do you remember every quarterback who you sacked or picked off?
What's crazy is I don't really remember the quarterback that I picked off. I don't remember the quarterback. I remember what team it was though. I remember it was against Houston.
Houston?
Yeah. Do I remember all of my sacks? I don't remember all of them. I more so remember sacks that I missed.
Uh yeah, I mean
Yeah,
yeah.
like I remember sacks where like I was right there and like where like maybe I would have went left instead of going right, and like I would have had the sack, like, or if I had him like wrapped up and like might have just fell off the tackle, like that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like you
I
forget those.
yeah, I could see why that would be like a lot more memorable because I think it's part of the human condition
Hmm.
to remember the blunders more than you remember like the successes.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and I think that's why a lot of people like if they think of a year, they could be thinking like when I think of 2020, there were so many things that I loved about 2020. Like honestly, the music culture is kind of hype.
Yeah,
Madden 20 was lit.
yeah.
Uh, and just when you finally got to go to school and when you finally got to like see your friends and stuff, uh, that's like I loved that.
Yeah.
But I mean, whenever I think of 2020, I think, oh, that year sucked. When I think, I mean, obviously, it was a lot of bad, but
Yeah.
there was some good in it. That
No, there
some
definitely
Yeah.
was. There definitely was a lot of good in
It's
2020.
like, yeah, for me in 2020, it was boring because I gave up on camp.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So the whole summer, I basically just sat in my house
Hmm.
that's what I do
and
every summer.
just played video games.
Yeah,
Listen, y'all gotta go fishing. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah,
Quit
yeah,
playing
lately I've
y'all
been going.
go fishing.
Lately, yeah, because a few years ago I got a sailboat.
Ooh, yeah,
yeah.
that's
Uh, yeah,
So
so I've been fishing a lot lately.
I mean, I got a saltwater fishing rod for my birthday because I had like fished up in the Adirondacks, but that was like once a year, and then I had like really fell in love with it, and
hmm
I just haven't found time. I went on like a fishing camp this summer. Didn't catch any caught one keeper, but
Mhm.
it's like a
Yeah,
sea
normally,
robin, a sea
sea
yeah,
robin.
you don't
robin.
need. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we have a lot of sea robin here.
I've never heard of a sea robin, bro.
they're ugly fish. They are ugly,
Yeah, I
and
my brother caught one the other day.
yeah, and they've got like poisonous spikes on them.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, and then we have a lot of fluke here, which is like the summer
fluke are fun.
flounder. But
Oh, okay. I think I've heard of those.
yeah,
I
I've
never caught. I
only
never caught those or a flounder though.
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know if we have flounder here, but I know we do have fluke. I f
fluke are flounder.
No, I know that they're a kind of flounder, but I don't know if we have like the classic kind, which is
Yeah, I don't think we do.
like bubble bass.
Mm.
That guy's a flounder. But yeah, I think the biggest one that like the biggest fluke that I caught was I mean I could
Uh, the biggest one I've ever seen was 32 inches.
What?
Um, the biggest one I've caught's like 21.
Oh wow.
say I think mine was 20 and a half.
Yeah, those things put up big fights too.
Mm.
Yeah, there was I mean they're a huge flounder. I fluke. Uh Big fluke. Just look it up on Google. You can find pictures. I'm not sure if this is from the area that we live in, but that's
Hmm.
like a guy
Oh
with
yeah.
it.
That's
So
it.
they're
That-
pretty big fish, but haven't caught any that big. I did catch
Mm.
a catfish up in the Adirondacks, which was like it's not anything special. Obviously, I think aren't catfish like an infestation? Like it's like annoying to catch them down there in
In
Florida.
some places
In
and in some
Florida, I
places.
know there's a lot of gar.
Yeah, there's a lot. That's I was about to say. That's what it is in Florida. Is the guard? The guard get a bit annoying, like because guard eat anything. So like a lot of times, if you're trying to catch catfish, you'll catch gar. Like gar is probably the easiest thing to catch, maybe besides the peacock bass. Peacock bass you can catch literally putting out a hook sometimes, like, and just throwing it near them. They'll get pissed off at it and they'll bite it just because. And guard, they're just bottom feeders, so they'll eat
Yeah,
just about anything dead or alive.
Hmm.
And because of their teeth, like they're so annoying. Like getting them off the hook, you usually don't get your hook back.
Yeah.
It's just
It
but
sounds annoying.
yeah,
Yeah.
But the catfish, like apparently they hadn't
catfish. A lot of times people go out to catch specifically just catfish. Like,
really.
have you guys ever had catfish?
I've never ate it because
Yeah,
like
I've never eaten
it's
catfish, but
where yeah,
I've
upstate
caught
where
them.
we fish is like where I fish a lot is like it's a tiny lake,
Hmm.
and so you don't eat anything that you catch there
Yeah.
Mhm.
because it's just a thought of like you're gonna take this fish out of this tiny lake,
Yeah.
you can give so many more people like
Hmm.
there's only gonna be one fish that big in this lake. So
Yeah.
you're like getting rid of that excitement for another person. But I mean obviously in more like in the bay where we live, it's not like that because it's a massive bay.
For
So
sure. Yeah, if you get out into some bigger water and you can catch some catfish, listen, catfish nuggets is a real thing and it's pretty good. If
yeah, I
it's
mean
cooked
Mhm.
the right
I
way,
believe it.
yeah, it's cooked. If it's cooked the right way, you got the right person that's making it, frying it up. It's good, man.
I mean I believe it. They're like fish sticks are delicious, but I don't even know what's in them.
It's not actual fish. Don't worry.
Ah. Yeah, don't
So
eat fish
I don't
sticks.
care. Like I still
Do you eat the McFish? Is that's what it's called? The
oh
fish
no,
patty
no, no.
McFish from McDonald's?
No, I don't eat that because
Nah, ever since the McDonald's like E. coli thing, I'm like, yeah, I'm never eating this again.
but that's the annoying thing. That's what I get. I get a quarter pounder and they discontinued it for a little bit and I
Yeah.
haven't been back since obviously like I haven't been back in a while. But it's like that's what I've always got. But yeah, so it was like the first catfish that they had seen in the lake for like apparently like 30 years or something, which
Mm.
is weird at least on this side of the lake, because it's like it's weird because one side of the lake is like people drive in and they spend like a weekend at like a rental camp, and then
Hmm.
one
Mhm.
side of the lake and then the other side where my grandma has a house, it's like everyone owns their own house. You have to like walk in and carry your stuff in. So
Mm.
so it's like it's a different kind of culture, and you don't like get really friendships across the lake because a lot of people who are there, you might be like, oh, this person's really awesome, and then they leave the next day. So
Oh
it's like,
wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, do you think we should wrap this up?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Dorian, for
Yeah, we really enjoyed
coming
having you
on.
on.
For sure,
Yeah.
bro. Appreciate y'all having me, dog.
Uh, we appreciate you giving us a chance. Obviously, it's just like I feel like seeing a DM of just someone saying like a random person be like, "Hey, we want you on the podcast," could be like a little bit weird, but
Nah, even bro, I like doing stuff like this. That's what I'm saying. Like, I appreciate it, dog. Like, I think stuff like this fun. Like, I look forward to doing podcast shows and talking with folks. Like, I like
yeah.
interacting.
Mhm.
So, and we really enjoy you. We really enjoyed having like talking to you. At least I did. Uh,
Yeah, so did I.
having a more. I feel like a lot of interviews with sports players and like like they see them as athletes and not as like people. And
100%.
so I
Mhm.
enjoy talking to you as seeing what you like to do outside
Mhm.
of sports and seeing like, oh, you like fishing, and then we branch off into a conversation about fishing.
Yeah.
I think it's a thing that is kind of missing in uh just sports media, I guess. And
100%.
I really enjoyed just having you on and being able to talk to you.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. 100%. Thanks
So
for having me, dog.
yeah, so Ashley, we gotta say the thing. It's like you're
Yeah, this is WOT Port Washington. You're on the dot. Once again, thank you, Dorian.
yeah, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Dorian. We
100%. Later.
loved having you on. Bye.
Thanks, dog. This is